Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and our continuing series on the MiSTer FPGA DE-10 Nano board. And today we're actually looping around to a previous video that I did on the PC Engine CD side of things. When I did that review, I found some bugs in a few different games that were supposedly already patched out, but I could not get the games to not present those bugs. There's some comments on the video that I must have tested it incorrectly, but after the fact another user went ahead and verified that bug did exist. He submitted an issue ticket on GitHub and supposedly has been repaired. So we're going to take a look and see if that in fact is the case today. Because I really wanted to love the PC Engine CD core, and I really did enjoy it for what it was doing back in spring when I reviewed it, but considering the PC Engine is one of my favorite consoles of all time, it was a little bit of a bummer that there were some issues. So we're going to resolve today once and for all if those still exist. And honestly, they were very small bugs. I think some people thought that I was talking derogatory towards the core. I wouldn't say so, but I review these things how I find them and I tell you guys my experiences, and I certainly don't want to massage the information whatsoever. I find out what I find out and I tell you, the subscriber and the viewer. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined, we've got a Patreon link down there as well. But one of the big issues I found was in Panic Bomber. It's one of my favorite games on the PC Engine CD, and when the game would load up right here, it would freeze. This is from the previous video, nothing is executing. And I can say that I retested this 10 different times on the updated PC Engine CD core after this bug was given an issue ticket, and it is fixed. 10 out of 10 times, this game loaded perfectly fine. Apparently what happened was it was a known bug that was patched out, but then in an update, somehow that bug made its way back into the core. So it did in fact exist, it was an issue, but that has now been resolved. So luckily, we have zero issues with this game on the PC Engine CD core for the MiSTer. It's great to have this working, and honestly this is one of the last bugs that was reported and it's now patched, so we're good to go at least on that, which is awesome because that's how these things work. If you're involved in the MiSTer community and you find an issue and you can have somebody else replicate it, report it as a bug, tell people it exists. We're not doing anybody any favors by pretending they don't exist, and that's why I specifically in the video said that at least for this game there is an outstanding bug. Maybe if I hadn't published that video and told people about it, it wouldn't have gotten patched up for months and months later. I don't know, that's just my presumption. But another issue I had was the Konami logo jingle was late. Go ahead and listen now. That logo is now dead on the money, exactly where it's supposed to be, and it replicates my original PC Engine DuoR hardware exactly. And that's what we're looking for here. If FPGA, hardware description language emulation, is supposed to be as accurate as original hardware, that's what we want to expect. And there's nothing wrong with reporting these problems. If you find a bug, definitely report it. That's how things get solved, because these projects are done by a few very talented people, but sometimes you can get tunnel vision and not notice there's a problem, even though you've looked at it 100 times. It happens to me constantly when I'm dealing with video editing or film production. If I've been working on something, it can just get sometimes hard to notice it's there. Someone else points it out to me and I say, how did I miss that? But there's also some awesome things in this core that I didn't touch on in the first video, and the first one is the fact that we do have arcade card support. You do have to turn it on though. Trying to load up Sapphire here, you're going to get this saucy error message saying you don't have the right card installed. So just go into hardware, enable the arcade card, and then go ahead and reset the core, and that's going to allow you to play any games that need that arcade card in the system. It's very limited, and when you're playing a game that doesn't require the arcade card, I recommend that you just go ahead and turn it off, because it can cause some minor incompatibility issues. That's not an issue with the MiSTer or the code behind it. That happens on real hardware as well. But now we're playing Sapphire. It's one of the most expensive games for the system, and it's highly bootlegged. Even trying to find a real version of this disc would be near impossible. You'd have to go to a collector who you trust and examine it, because eBay is littered with bootlegs that are going for the right price. But everything looks spectacular on MiSTer, and that was what I talked about in the first video, is that at least for the audio and visual quality portion, everything looks absolutely outstanding, because my PC Engine DuoR is not modified. I've been meaning to modify it for years. I have the parts in my closet. I just have never gotten around to actually doing it, and now that MiSTer exists, I can actually leave that hardware original if I want to. It's a really nice option just to be able to go ahead and put the MiSTer next to the TV and not use my DuoR every single time I need to use it. The CD-ROM drive on it's still strong, but if I do want to play original games, I have choices now, and that's the great thing about MiSTer. And I know some people have commented that they think that I'm partial towards original hardware, and 100% I admit that. I love my original hardware. I think MiSTer, for a lot of people, is a good substitution for the original hardware. I think that they work side by side. But you'll see here in the menu, we still have the same awesome options as before, but that's just the thing. MiSTer is another device that does the same thing, and it may do the same thing better or as good as the original hardware. In this instance, MiSTer is definitely outperforming my PC Engine DuoR because I don't have the RGB mod. But you can make the choice to do whatever you want hardware-wise. Don't let anybody tell you MiSTer's better than or worse than. If you like it, awesome. I love mine. I would never sell it. It's great. I take it over to friends' house to play games because I don't really feel like bringing over 6 retro consoles for a game night. There's a ton of use case scenarios for this, and I understand I'm an outlier. Not everyone has 40 consoles on TV stands and in their closet ready to use whenever you want. But taking a look at another game here, the Bonk Shmup, I can't remember is the Japanese version, it's PC Genjin Rockabilly. Everything looks perfect. We have amazing colors, we have amazing sound, everything is 100% exactly how you would expect it to be. And that's the great part about the updates to this core. Those bugs, the small ones that I did find, have been fixed, and now I can't find a single negative thing to say about the PC Engine CD side of this core. And of course, I mentioned earlier, if you have unmodified hardware, on the left is the MiSTer on HDMI, on the right is my PC Engine with composite. You're going to get a lot better image quality. But of course, just like I mentioned how good the image quality is, the audio is absolutely spectacular in HDMI as well. So go ahead and listen for 30 seconds and I'll come back and close out this revisit of the PC Engine core. But enjoy. Looks great, sounds great. I have zero issues with this core whatsoever. But the reality of the situation is, anytime I find a bug in anything I'm doing, I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm certainly going to check to make sure that it's not just a one-off instance that I'm experiencing first, but the only thing I care about is giving everyone who watches this the best information possible. And I know there was some debate over whether or not what I experienced was true or not. Those bugs were verified and they were fixed, so that is awesome. But I'll continue to make MiSTer videos and show you guys the results that I get, because honestly, outside of this one video where I had a few issues that people took umbrage with, I've been saying nothing but great things about MiSTer, and I think it is still an awesome thing that you should pick up. Short of that, I'll have videos throughout the week, and I'll be back next week with another video in the MiSTer series. Do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, that notification bell definitely helps us out. But yeah, if you want to play PC Engine or PC Engine CD games and you don't have original hardware, then MiSTer is definitely going to be an awesome choice for you to check out. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.